Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We were asked to speak about Sankirtan, book distribution, how to share the message in an attractive, relevant, and impactful way. So, we will read a verse from the Gita. If there is an English Gita somewhere. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
You have to put it further away, otherwise it's noise. And don't put it like this, yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So the first most important question before we do anything is what it is that we're supposed to be doing and why we're supposed to do it. This is called Sambandha Gyan, or knowing about identity and relationship. Most projects are over before they started because we're not really clear on who we are, who the other people are, and what's the purpose of the project. Have you noticed? If you're not in the know, people just say, shoot, and then aim. No, it's got to be the other way around, right? You have to first know what you're doing. So, this is Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, at the end. Krishna says, just not coming. This is text 68. Yairam paramam guyam mad bhakteshu avidasyati bhakti mai param kritva mamme vaishyatya sansayaha. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end he will come back to me. And 69. Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakritama bhavitana cha me tasmad anyak priyataro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. And we're reading the purport to 68. Generally, it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed amongst the devotees only. For those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter for the devotees only, and not for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is, will advance in devotional activities, and reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Om Ajnanatimarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakiramayam Dadati Svapadantikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Giradhar Shiva Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vacharam pangum angayate girim yat kripadam aham vande Sri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, here, at the end of the discourse, Krishna reveals the secret how to actually become dear to him, how to come closer to him. As Prabhupada points it out here in his purport, that someone who tries to sincerely present Bhagavad Gita or Krishna's message will advance in devotional activities. and reach a pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he's sure to go back home, back to Godhead. So, that is the goal. Prayojana. You have to know what is the goal. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And leadership means to know where you're going and to know how to inspire others to go there. So that's what we're trying to learn by studying Bhagavad Gita. That's why we should daily read Bhagavad Gita. Even though we may have read it in the past, it's okay to read it again. Because repetition of a good thing is a good thing. How many times have you read the Gita? Well, you lost count, because after you do something more than a few dozen times, right, you just kind of stop counting. Because it just becomes a way of life. It just becomes a habit. This is what we do. Because this is who we are. We're devotees of Krishna. You see other people, they're devoted to their car, so they do car seva, abhishek, puja, arti, offer all the best things, all the best foods to the car, Others, they do dog seva, they clean the dog and feed it and, do abhisheka and puja to the dog. Others, everybody has got their deity. You got to have a deity. Why? Because we're small and we want something big that we can worship, that we can adore. It's just human nature. You pick whatever, and then you fall in love, and then at some point you fall out of love. That's just the way how things move in this world. Yet Krishna says, give your dedication. Can you give Prabhu the question? Give your dedication, give your love, give your attention, give your affection to me. Because I can reciprocate it. Whereas all these other personalities in this world, they won't be able to reciprocate our attention. Have you ever felt that people weren't able to reciprocate or to communicate or to deal with you adequately? Has this ever happened to you? Or is it just me? Hare Krishna. Now, when you get a garland of gardenias, plus, this is gardenia plus. So, Krishna is very kind. And his devotees are even kinder. Because Krishna says, Yetam prapadyante tam satava bhajamiham. As you deal with me, so I'll reciprocate. I'll reward you. But the devotees, even if you may not deal so nicely with them, they'll still be nice to you. Krishna says tit for tat. You know what tit for tat means? Puff, puff. But the devotees, they're ready to take rejection. They're ready to take people who, don't pay attention or speak harsh words. And they say, it's all right. I'll take that. But I'll still try to give you Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we were asked to speak a little bit on how to share a message. First of all, we have to know what is the message. Because sometimes we may get confused. And we may start to think that whatever is in my mind is the message. Whatever goes on in my life is the message. But that is not the message. We should communicate Krishna's message in the Bhagavad Gita. And what is that message? That message is Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Jao Maya, Pisachira Kole. Wake up, sleeping souls. Don't sleep on the lap of the witch Maya. You know Hansel and Gretel? Did you hear the story of Hansel and Gretel when you were a kid? So don't sleep, otherwise the witch Maya, La Bruja Maya, she will eat you. It's not the time to be naive. As they say in poker, if you don't know who the sucker are, it's you. If you don't know who the fool or the idiot is, it's you. So, that's why we have to read Bhagavad Gita, so we know what is Krishna's words, what is Krishna's teachings. If you would ask anybody, even our good Hindus here in Surinam, what is the message, what is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita, what will they tell you? Be good, do good. Work is worship. Or every path leads to the goal. You ever all heard this stuff, right? You ask anybody, how many actually know what is the goal? What is the goal? Prema Pumartha Mohan, pure love. for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which also means friendship to the devotees, and it also means showing compassion to all living entities. Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu. So all the good stuff is included in Prema Puvarta Mohan. There are so many good causes in this world, have you noticed? So many good causes. And sometimes people get a little confused. Let's do something for the rainforest. Let's do something for the birds. Did you know that the bees are really in trouble? Because now, with all the electrosmog and all the pollution that we have, the bees have a real hard time to exist in many parts of the world. Now you may say, big deal, what's the problem? You know, we got sugarcane, what do we need bees for, right? Well, you may not have plants and fruits and flowers if you don't have bees. Did you know that? In certain parts of China, they don't have any more bees. It's too polluted. You know what they have to do? They have to pollinate the plants by hand. You know how much work that is? You have to go plant to plant and do the pollination. It doesn't really work so great. And that's all part of the advancement of modern civilization. That we have synthetic foods. You can make foods out of anything, but it's not really doing the trick. It may look like food, but it's not. It's like in Japan, if you walk on the street and there's restaurants, they have their menu in the window, but it's a show bottle. You know what the show bottle is? It looks nice, but there's really no, it's like from the pharmacy, from the chemical store. There's no medicine in it. It's just colored water. So they have the whole dish, including the plate and everything, but it's made out of plastic. And it really looks authentic, but you can't eat it. So that's the material world. Everything looks great. It's like you go to the US and you go to the supermarket and you pick fruits, and it looks like fruit. But when you try to eat it, you realize this is not fruit. You know, you can't eat this. You can't process this. It's good for transportation. It's good for storage. It's good for shelf life. But it's not good for life, for nutrients. So where did we get off the track? Get me back to where I left off the track. Yes, a devotee is more merciful than Krishna and is willing and ready to extend themselves beyond the call of being nice and being polite. Anständig. Anstand. You say Anstand? You know, be well behaved, be a good citizen. How do you say it in Netherlands? Huh?
Beschaafd.
Be?
Beschaafd.
Bekraft. Yeah. It's all, everyone is very well behaved here, you know. Have you noticed how well behaved people are? But there is that passive aggressiveness right underneath, right? It's just a thin veneer of niceness. And you scratch a little bit, somebody's ready to bite you. So I was in Mumbai at the airport and waiting in line to board a flight. You have to have a little special effects, you know, to get audience participation. Because there has to be some emotional response. Otherwise people sign off and they start going to La La Land. They start dreaming off. So, and I was about to board the flight, and the person in front of me, he looked at me and he said, "Are you trying to be a monk or what?" And it was a loud American, a businessman, you know, nicely dressed with his little rolly briefcase. "Are you trying to be a monk or what?" And I said, "Yes, I'm trying since 30 years. And I reached into my bag and I took out the Gita and I said, "And this is a gift for you, my friend." And he was a little perplexed because he had said something quite pointed, quite direct. In some cultures you could say something a little offensive. Yet he had received the gift. And that was a little confusing to him. So he had that, you know, an outset, that moment of he didn't know what to say or what to do. And then he said, well, what can I give you? What can I give you? And I said, well, you know, ordinarily, we don't take anything. But with you, I will make an exception. So, what can you give? I said, some people give their whole lives. He said, well, that may sound a little much, you know? Well, what can I give you? And I said, well, I saw the lady was picking up the mic to announce the flight, so I knew I got 5 seconds and this line starts walking, so better be quick. So I said, well, just give $1 million, you know. What's the big deal? You're such a big businessman. And he said, oh. I said, well, just give 1,000 rupees, you know. So he just gave 1,000. He took the Bhagavad Gita and then reported. The point I'm trying to make is that if you want to communicate a message, you have to be willing to be ignored, to be challenged, to be misunderstood. Here, a lot of people, because they're smart, they're, you know, from the Dutch background. Dutch people are smart people, right? You heard of colonialism? You heard of shipping? You heard of all that stuff? That's the Dutch. So, they think they already got you figured out when they see you, right? They think, oh, you're trying to make a living, you try to make a buck, right? It's about the money, right? And we tell them, no. We don't need the money. Can you say that? We don't need the money. You have to put your hands up like this. Can you do that? Do it. We don't need the money. You have to say it loud and mean it. We don't need the money. But you need to give. Because it's good for you. So we're taking the contribution, not because we need it, because we got gardenia garlands, and we got mangoes and bananas and sugar cane. I'm not even going to tell you what we have here, otherwise they're all going to come here and want to live here. You know, one time Prabhupada told the temple president, you make an advertisement and you say, come here and live with us. And the temple president said, but how can we do that? What if they come? How will I host them? How are we going to feed them? You know, he was in anxiety. And Prabhupada said, you have to say, come here, live with us, and live like us. Which means, get up from Mangalarti, follow 4X, chant 16 rounds. Prabhupada said, don't worry, very few will come. So don't be preoccupied. But Prabhupada said, we invite the whole world. Come here and take prasad. Just like Raghunath Das Goswami. He held the Panihati Chidadahi Mahotsav, the Chipped Rice Festival, because he wanted to get the mercy of the Vaishnavas. He knew that without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, there is no way to make spiritual progress. It's not by our own strength, by our own smartness, that we can, you know, elbow our way into the spiritual world. Get out of the way. Get out of here. I'm coming. It doesn't work like that. Because bhakti is the path of grace. The access code is Trinadati Sunichena. It is being humble, being meek, and that means, Prabhu, can you help me? Prabhu, can you give me some advice? Can you give me some good instruction? Can you give me some mercy? And the Vaishnavas are very kind, they're very merciful. They will give us all of that and more. But because we're obstinate, we don't want. We think we've got it figured out. It will take a long time. It will take a long time. But each and every one of us, like Prabhupada says here in the purport, can attract Krishna's intervention. We can attract Krishna's attention. How? By doing something that is pleasing to Him. By assisting His pure devotees in sharing, in spreading His message. So first we have to know, what is Krishna's message? Come home. It's time to close up your little, you know, your little corner store, your little beady shop, you know. Everyone's selling a few little items. Today we were in the market, just down the road. And everyone's selling a little something, right? Some have one item, some have a few items, but everyone's selling a little something. So everybody thinks like, I got something. But a devotee knows, Nishkinchan, I don't have anything in this world. Krishna is my only shelter, and He's my only aspiration. So, what is the message? Go back home, back to Godhead. That is the message. Yet how to tell this to people in a way that they don't feel shocked? What, you want me to close up my shop here? You want me to let go of all these things? No. We want you to be Krishna conscious in every situation of life. And how can you do that? Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So how to communicate the message? First point, you have to know what the message is. Second point, I know you got photographic memory, but for those of you who don't, you can also write it down. Second point is you got to know how to present it in an attractive way that people are not confused. Because oftentimes people think that what their mind tells them, that's what people think, right? And the mind doesn't always tell the good things or the proper things. So when people see you, they have three questions. Who are you? What's this book? And what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of this? So how do you answer these three questions in 7 seconds or less? That's the question. So you greet them. First you look at people, like now. I look at you and we communicate by consciousness. That's very powerful. You can't distribute a book like this. Yeah, take it and put the money there, okay? And then get lost, right? The person will just ignore me as I am ignoring him. It doesn't work. So you have to make eye contact. And then you have to have a pleasing disposition, because people take one look at you and they will decide, oh yes, I would like to talk to this gentleman, or oh no, this person, no. Have you noticed how we make that visual decision of how we're going to navigate in the world? So, before you go out of your house or out of your ashram or out of your tent or cave or car, wherever you might be living in, look into the mirror and ask yourself, would I like to meet this person? If not, why not? What can I do to have a little more pleasing demeanor? I can tell you what you can do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chant Hare Krishna and be miserable. Chant Hare Krishna and be depressed. Chant Hare Krishna and be judgmental and in your face. Right? No, wrong. What was the saying?
Chant Hare Krishna, be happy.
Oh really? Chant Hare Krishna and be happy, yeah. Because when you're happy, everybody looks, hey, I want what you got. How can I get what you got? Oh, you got books there. Maybe if I read this book, I'll become happy like you. But otherwise, if you go around, hey, you, take this, take this, give me the money, and then, you know, my life was good before I met you. maybe you need this book more than I do. And they're right. So, the first and foremost customer, the most difficult customer on the planet is right here. Yourself truly. So we have to take the medicine. We have to take the medicine. And that's daily doses. It's just like if you have jaundice or malaria or some severe type of condition. You have to take your medicine and your diet very regularly. It's not like, you know, whenever. No, then you'll have relapses and it will have a very severe experience. So are you taking your medicine every day? Are you chanting your japa attentively? Are you reading Prabhupada's books? Reading? What is that? You know, if we ask people to buy books and to read books, but we're not reading, then what does that make us? It makes us hypocrites. And a hypocrite is pretty much the worst, you know, category, right now. That's like to be avoided, right? That's not where you want to be. So, you look at them, you smile, and then what do you say? There's many things you could say, but time is short, and people are on a mission. They want to, and it's not a mission from God. They are on a mission to go places and do things and meet people. And you're not one of them. So, what do you tell them? Like here, you have the Hindu variety, you can say Ram Ram or Sita Ram, and they usually resonate with that to some degree. Have you noticed? You can say Hare Krishna, And then you can put prasad, you say Krishna prasad or Ram prasad or Burfi or whatever, you put some prasad in their hand, or you can give them a leaflet, a flyer or something. And you can see, if they don't want to touch it, just leave them be. Just smile and let them pass. Just like if you go picking fruits. Do you pick the green fruit? You break the branch and you drag it down the street? Or do you pick the right fruit? Which one? Which one do you pick?
Mostly the right one.
Huh?
The right one.
The right one. Except if you're in Bengal. Huh? They'll take the whole tree and take it home. Huh? Of course, there's smart people who say you can also pick the green mango. You make pickle, so pick them all. Huh? But that's not the right attitude, because there's plenty for everybody. Huh? So, if a person is not willing to talk to you, do yourself a favor, just let them go. There's 8 billion people on the planet. The vast majority of them will never know that you lived. They will never know that you exist. Is that a problem? No, that's not a problem. Huh? Our japa, our prasadam, our study is the same taste, whether they know us or they don't know us. So don't worry. There is plenty of people. If you run after people, then you will miss out on people who are actually interested. So those who don't want to look at you, don't want to talk to you, don't smile and go like, you know, let them go. We have a saying, I show you the book and I tell you who you are. Extraordinarily, externally, people, they all look kind of okay, right? They all look kind of human. Well, we have a saying, I show you the book and I tell you who you are. Please silence your notifications. So, have you noticed that as soon as you take the book out, then either the smile comes on, and you can take the book away, and then you take it back, again the teeth come out. Have you noticed? Huh? It's amazing, isn't it? It works every single time. You go like, coo, 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 coo. You can do the whole thing. Why? Because that's just there. There is Asura Bhav and there is Sura Bhav. There is divine and demoniac qualities. People just, they can't help it. So, then, you see how they respond. If they take the flyer, the prasad, the leaflet, the invitation card, or the small book, then you have something. You can work with that. And here usually you can just say, please give a donation. Any donation for the temple is appreciated or is welcome. Or you say Pandit Dan or this Dan or that Dan or whatever you want to say. You know, like people get the idea. And they'll give you something. And then you don't have to preach to them and explain to them what this is. They know. They know. But what I usually do is I show them other books and I ask them, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And then you'd be surprised. People already have Prabhupada's books. They're already reading Prabhupada's books. They know who we are. They know where we are. They know where you live. And they appreciate it. So that means be nice. They know where you live. Okay? So, and then usually they will contribute. And there's different things you can do. You can just gracefully accept whatever they give you, and that's that. Or you can suggest, you can tell people that, you know, usually people give this much or that much, depending on who they are and how inspired you are and which book they have. That's why it's good to start small and then to build up. You go in like a needle and out like a plow. Sometimes people want to give you the full set. So they go in like a plow and then they go out like a needle, you know. So better to build people up than to build them down. Because it's a downer. If you give somebody a Gita and then they give you a 20 and then you say, give me that back. Okay, here. Take the flyer or take the invitation card. It's kind of a disappointment, right? Why you give me this thing and now you take it back? It's always kind of not so cool. So try to build people up. That means you start small And even if they give you only 10 or 20 for a small book, don't worry, somebody else will give 100. And it always comes out in the wash. It always evens out at the end of the day. So, you can, if people ask, like how much, you can suggest, like 50 for the small and 100 for the big and, 200 for that one and 400 for the big one for the Gita. But in general, just be a giver. Just give. Krishna has got you covered. Don't worry. There is no scarcity. There is plenty. Then you have the others. You have the others, which means people who are not familiar, different culture, different background, different religion. So you have to translate it into a language that they can relate to. If you go, Ram Ram and Prasad and Pandit Dan and you talk, Hindi and this and that, they're like, whoa, what? Chinese? They don't get it. So you have to be able to communicate in a way that people can actually relate to you. So you say, hello, how are you? How is things going? And then say, we're showing these today to all the nice people. Books on yoga meditation teaches you how to get free from stress. Have you heard of stress before? You make it relatable. And they will contribute. They will feel, yeah, this is a nice person. So who are you? You can say, I'm a volunteer. I remember I started doing book distribution, I was 15 years old. And I went out and I told people, I'm a monk. And many times they looked at me. And sometimes they asked, does your mom know you're here? Old ladies will go and get me chocolate, in the kitchen. This is Switzerland, Swiss chocolate. And I said, I'm a monk, I don't eat chocolate. And they went, no. I realized, don't be an idiot. If somebody wants to give you a gift, take it. If it's not something forbidden, take it. Someone else may appreciate it, So, be a mensch. Be human. But who are you? Well, whoever you are. You may be a student, you may be, a travel agent, you may be a priest, you may be a monk, you may be a retired person, you may be a businessman, a housewife. Just tell them who you are. Because no one can argue with the truth. Because that's how it is. But if you make stuff up, then people will challenge it and they will say, really? I was taking an Uber in Panama, and this was the worst car that I was riding in on this trip. Actually, there was a few worse cars who were worse than that one, but this one looked very bad. And the driver, he was talking a mile a minute, and so I asked him a couple of things, and he said, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a clothing label, and I have a record company, and I'm coming out with my perfume line, and I'm also, doing investments and this and that. And I said, dude, look at your car. You're driving Uber. You're an entrepreneur. Show me the money. If you have money in your pocket, I believe you're an entrepreneur. If you don't, you're not. At the end, I gave him a small book, and with Achim Krach, with a lot of endeavor, he sacrificed $1, But the point I'm trying to make is be real. Just don't make things exaggerated. Then, what is this book? Well, you can say many things. You can say this is the absolute truth. This is, this is coming directly from the spiritual world. And some people already appreciate that. But a lot of people won't be able to relate to that. Or you have to contextualize it. And you may not have the time, and the situation may not call for that type of presentation. So, what is your message, my friend? In one word or less, what do you want to communicate to the world? What's your message? One word or less. Maestro.
The perfection.
Perfection! Yes. What else? What are you looking for in life? Work with me, people. Your Paribhasa Sutra.
Happiness.
Happiness, yes. What else, sir?
Krishna.
Krishna, yes.
Salvation.
Salvation. What's your message? People want to know, what's your message? Primetime TV. You got one word. And that's all you got. What is your message?
Love.
Love. Are people looking for love? No. Not in Surinam, right? Everyone is serious. Business, right? No, love is definitely, yes. Mataji. Kya hai? What's the message? Krishna. What else? Huh?
Grateful.
Gratefulness. Or
Love.
gratitude. Huh? Love.
Happy.
Happiness.
Surrender.
Huh?
Surrender.
Surrender. Wow, that's scary. What else? Happiness. Okay, that's fine. If you believe in it, you can communicate it. Huh? But you have to work with your key concepts, key concepts. Don't try to talk about, I want to tell you a little story from a king who was cursed to die in 7 days. Why are you going? I want to tell you the whole story. That doesn't work. That works, for the 3 old guys who sit by the river, with a fishing rod. That's okay, telling stories. But people are busy. They're running around, looking for all the good things that you mentioned. So communicate them in a concise way. And that will also answer their third question. What is in it for me? What do I get out of this? What's the bottom line? What's the punchline here? It's not about money. It's about what you can get out of this. Right? Love, peace, happiness, salvation, whatever you want to call it. Huh? If you believe in it, you can communicate it. But if you don't believe in it, don't. Find something that works for you. Have you ever seen people screaming and yelling at people with microphones? Do they do that here in Suriname? These preachers, who stand on a soapbox and they yell at the kids. And every time I see, you haven't seen that? Every time I see that, I'm tempted to go up to that person and tell them, my dear sir, I understand you have an important message, but the way you're trying to communicate it has not worked, does not work, and will not work. How many people talk to those preachers who scream and yell at kids? How many? Approximately. No one. 0. Except crazy people or people who want to debate and fight, They go for that.
And the people who yell back.
Huh?
The people who yell back.
The people who yell back, exactly. So how do you deal with fanatics? And it doesn't matter whether you're a born-again Christian or a born-again Hare Krishna or a born-again whatever. How do you deal with fanatics? You don't. You don't. I just saved you a lot of grief, a lot of trouble, and a lot of talking. So you don't. People who want to argue, people who want to just, the type. Just avoid them. Just avoid them. Save yourself the trouble. Okay? And for the others, just be nice. And people will be nice to you. Because that's normal. Whatever you put out there is what you get back. And if you're willing to share your heart, believe it or not, people will pay you back in the same currency. Krishna will inspire them. Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. Once Prabhupada said when he was asked how to distribute the books, he said, don't teach them techniques. Just teach them how to be sincere. And then he pointed to his heart and he said, then the Lord in the heart, the Master, He will teach you everything that you need to know. So there's many more things that I could be saying, but I'll end with 2 points and then we open up for questions and discussion. We're going till 8, or what is the normal here?
Yes, still eat
Huh? Okay. So, number 1. When you do outreach, you have to have a follow-up. A business without a sign is a sign of no business. If you don't have any contact information, If people can't find you, then what are you trying to do? Sell books? Make money? There's a million ways how to move product and how to make money. You don't have to go out trying to do this. So, do you have ways of following up with people? It's like a farmer. If a farmer just plants and sows seeds, but he never harvests, it's kind of stupid, isn't it? Like you look behind the house, we got sugar cane, we got bananas. Most of it is just rotting on the ground. No one's picking it up, right? Because we're too detached, we're too transcendental. But you have to harvest. You have to be able to take benefit. Otherwise, someone else will take benefit. We're doing all the work, and someone else will come in and reap the fruits. So have a follow-up system. That means take contacts of people. And number two, work strategically. 8 billion people, there's too many of them to be able to interact productively. So Jesus had how many disciples? 5,000? 2 million followers? No. How many?
No.
How do you know? Are you a good Christian? Huh? Yes, he had 12. And not all of them were great. Some were pretty bad. Some were okay. A couple did something. That's normal. It's the law of averages. But he had 12. Huh? Most of the gurus in our parampara had one disciple or a few. So this whole idea of I have to sell my product to 1% of the population of China and then I'll be a billionaire, it's for the birds. It just doesn't work that way. So, deal with a few people, but deal with them nicely and follow up with them and cultivate them. And what we really like to see here in Suriname is to establish relationship with every village where we put a set of Prabhupada's books in the village mandir and we cultivate the elders and the key people and we show them that we're not here to convert, we're not here to indoctrinate, we're not here to exploit, we're here to serve. We're here to help you do what you want to do in a better way. And believe it or not, you will find a lot of open doors. You find a lot of open ears and hearts. You find a lot of people who say, hey, yeah, you're talking my language. Huh? So, and we need to go to universities and schools and deal with the educated class. Because there's different approaches. There's bottom-up, where we go to the street and to the marketplace, and we do food for life and do that. And that's fine, that's wonderful. But we also have to go top-down. Yeah? Lord Chaitanya's movement, you had Prataparudras and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Prataparudra was the king. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the court pundit. He was the most educated, learned man in the whole area. And there were beggars, and there were businessmen, and farmers, and housewives, and it was everybody. It was a good wide range, a good mix. Otherwise, we'll only end up with one demographic, and they're very comfortable among themselves, but they can't relate with the others. And they're different demographics. So I would like to see a little bit more of diversity here. Have you noticed that there are others here in this country? And if we learn how to deal with them, believe it or not, many are not so happy with organized religion. Many are not so happy with the old ways. Many are feeling disenchanted and they're looking for new opportunities. There's a big category, spiritual but not so into religion, That's okay, we can accommodate that, no problem. So, these are a couple of reflections. We got 18 minutes for questions, comments, and reflections. Not all at once. I know it's Ekadasi and you all fasted, and the CPU might be running on, survival mode, but just something that intrigues you.
There's something. So I often see that women are more likely to reciprocate. Like they're more interested and they'll listen more.
Yeah, tell them. Right now, I'm on a mission, but I would like to meet you again. Here's the invitation. Please come and see me Sunday. And they have to accept that because, you're on a mission. So just be straightforward. Otherwise, they want to tell you their life story, and you want to make it short, and it becomes like tug of war. So just give the book, make a nice impression, take the donation, give them the invitation, take their contact if they're really interested, and then move on. Because there's a lot of people that we want to reach. And usually in the marketplace, on the street, it's not the setting where you can have deep philosophical... I mean, it's possible. Every now and then, very rarely, I take, 5 or 10 minutes if I see that the person really needs it. And I just give them, you can say, a little more. But that's rare. That's rare. Okay? Other questions or points? Yes, sir.
I missed the part you said what Prophet said about how to distribute goods and then the Lord in the heart.
Yeah, don't teach them techniques. Just teach them how to be sincere.
Don't teach them to the book.
Don't teach to the book distributors, to the devotees, techniques, like you do this, you say that, and then the money comes jumping at you. No, just teach the devotees how to be sincere. And then Krishna, the Lord in the heart, will guide them. Yeah. And also, he will inspire the person to reciprocate. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshir jantishtati brahmayam sarvabhutanira yantram bhanvami. Krishna is the one who is the doer. He is the one who is orchestrating everything. I am just the humble servant. Prabhupada said, I didn't go to the West. The Bhagavatam went to the West. I was just carrying the suitcase. He took the servant role. And because Prabhupada didn't want the credit, Krishna exalted him. Krishna made him famous because he wanted to make Krishna famous. And that's the competition between the devotee and Krishna. Other points? So there's 4 laws in book distribution. The first one is your sadhana has to be strong because you can only give what you got. So daily, good japa and good reading. Then you feel enthused, you're inspired to go out. And people take one look at you and they go, wow, what you got? You got the goods, I got the money. So, rule number 2, the more you show, the more you sell. You have you seen those fruit and vegetable vendors at the market? Everything is out on display. And people, believe it or not, they buy. Why? Because the more you show, the more you sell. And always sell them in bunches, like bananas, The guy doesn't sell one bindi. He got a bunch there, right? So always sell them in bunches. So always give okay, I got a book, I got a flyer, I got an invitation card, and prasadam. Okay, this is a bunch, this is a package. And they're like, wow, that's a bunch, yeah, I'll give you something. Oh, I messed it up. Number 1, your sadhana has to be strong. Number 2, get books. Because technically, we have made the experiment, you can't sell books that you don't have. Have you noticed? People look at you and go, Hare Krishna, do you have the Bhagavad Gita? And you go, no. And then you feel stupid. Because it's like, hey, this person would have taken the Gita. But I didn't have any books. Has this happened to you? It's okay to feel stupid, but don't look stupid, So carry books. You have to put books in your bag, in your purse, in your stroller, in your car, in your home, in your office. You have to have books. Otherwise, how are you going to help people? And then number 3, the more you show, the more you sell. And number 4, you have to be organized. You got to have a plan. You got to know which day is market in which town, from what time to what time. When is the best time to go? Where is the best place to go? But here it's so favorable. I have seen Guyana, Trinidad here, you can just walk around the neighborhood and chant Hare Krishna. And people come to the gate, and hand you money. You can't do that anywhere else in the world. In India, maybe, in Gujarat or in some nice places, But it's amazing. People are so open. Yet, if you're not organized, you can't get much done. Now, of course, you got jobs, you got lives, you got kids, you got you know, so much to do, but if you want to get something done, ask a busy person. A busy person is a person who can get stuff done. Not the guy who, you know, sits in the park and, you know, watches the birds. He's not the guy to get stuff done. You ask a busy person, they will get stuff done. And once you realize that the mission may just be a little too big for me to handle, the concept of Sankirtan is Samyak Kirtan. It's a complete, a congregational effort. It's not a one-person scheme. Like you can't run an airline by yourself. You know, it takes all sorts of people. And in a similar way, this is a team sport. You want to play cricket? You want to play ball? You need a team. Just like here, when people come, is there someone to receive them? Do we have a hospitality team who welcomes people? People should feel so welcome, so nice, that they just want to come back. They want to bring all their friends. I remember in Kiev Temple, they had a Sunday feast before the war. Sunday feast with like 400 or 500 people come. And every Sunday there was like 20 or 30 newcomers. And they make them stand up, and then they give them a garland, they give them a gift pack, and everybody applauds. And they say their name and where they're from, and everyone's like, wow, Haribo! And they feel like, wow, you know, like that VIP reception at the airport that I missed, you know. Because I ran out, I was too fast. I'm like, where is everybody? Oh, they're in the VIP lounge, and I'm out here with the taxi, with the sharks, you know, like, taxi, come. And I'm like, no, all I need is a little bit of Wi-Fi so I can call my guys. What was my point? Welcome, yes, welcome committee. And then they want to bring all their friends. You got to go to this place, man. They know how to drink, yes. They know how to do the thing, you know. And then they party. I mean, they dance, and you should see the feast. Man, this is like beyond. If you're the happening spot, you'll have traffic all the way, you know, Quattenweg, all the way down to the ocean, you know. Yeah. Just because people want to be in your place. Not like right now, everyone's got their designated parking space. They got their dedicated room, and you know, everybody got everything figured out. So, the welcoming committee, follow up, youth preaching. If you get the kids, you get the adults. Do you know that the parents are just the drivers for the kids? They just have to drive kids around. That's what parents do, drive kids around. So, right? So what do? You get the kids. How do you get the kids? You gotta have a playground. You gotta have a playroom. You gotta have Sunday school. You gotta have shlokas, dramas, recitations, rehearsals. You gotta have dressing up for Janmashtami, dressing up for Ram Navami, dressing up for this festival, dress competition, Gita competition, this contest, that thing. You will have people, you don't know where to put them. Huh? I'm just giving you a few ideas. So you gotta have a plan. So it's good. You're all from good stock, and you have a bit of that Dutch, you know, operating system mixed into it. So use all that and engage in Krishna service. And Krishna will do the miracles. He will do the magic. And the beautiful thing is, you'll be able to be there and witness it. When that person who was so far away from Krishna, totally bahimukha, completely gone, you know, like wet ashes, like burnt and gone. But all of a sudden, boom, Lord Chaitanya, put that spark there. And all of a sudden, they're on fire. Have you noticed how sometimes people walk by and they're just like, meh. And then Krishna in their heart says, don't be an idiot. This is good for you. And they're, what is it? And then you start talking with them, and you can see, you can feel it, you can hear it, how the mind says, no, I don't want this. Or as the significant other usually says, we don't want this. Have you heard that one? We don't want this. Or we don't need this. Then The devotee is enthusiastic. And Krishna in the heart responds. And the person says, no, no, no. And Krishna says, yes, yes, yes. They say, no, no, no. Krishna says, yes, yes, yes. No, yes, no. Take it is good for you. All right. And they'll give you something. So who wins? Whoever has a stronger desire. How strong is your desire to serve Krishna? How strong is your desire to help people to give Krishna consciousness? How convinced are you? One time Prabhupada called all the GBC men, all the big guns, together, and he asked them, are you convinced? Are you convinced? They didn't know what to say. Because you can't fake it. When the Guru asks you, are you convinced? It's not like the good time to make up stories, you know. 3 times he was shouting at them, are you convinced? And they were all quiet. And he said, because if you are not convinced, you can't convince anyone. So how convinced are you? That's why we have to read these books every day. To convince the most difficult customer on the planet, yourself truly, about the efficacy of Krishna consciousness. Yet by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, by the mercy of our Guru Parampara, we have gotten a glimpse, a little fraction, a little molecule of taste. And that molecule of taste is carrying us over all the obstacles and all the hurdles. So, follow your heart, follow your taste. Keep pursuing Krishna consciousness. And if you want to accelerate, if you want to really go crazy, if you want to do daring things, go out and share the message. Give people books. I guarantee you, your life will never be the same. People will start asking you questions. Who this guy? Who that guy? Huh? Well, what's the conclusion of this? Very good question. I'll see you in a week. Same place, right? I'll tell you the answer. It's like you arrive at the airport and they ask you, where are you coming from? And I'm like, you know, I came from Mayapur, I drove to Kolkata, I took a flight to Mumbai, then I went from Mumbai to Heathrow, to Dallas Fort Worth, to Santiago de Chile, to Punta Arenas. It only took 2.5 days. So where do I come from? I don't really remember where I came from. I know originally we came from the spiritual world somewhere. But we're not going to entertain that argument at the moment. Where do we come from? So people are a little lost. So chanting Hare Krishna, reading Prabhupada's books will give us clear direction. There's a lot of people who are kind of lost. Everybody needs a mission in life. Have you found yours? What is your mission? Breakfast and lunch? And dinner? Or for the older guys, no dinner? What is your mission? After a while you ticked off all the boxes. We have exceeded our options here in this world. So what is it that's still exciting enough to get us out of bed? What is it? Except Krishna's mission. That is truly something that makes a difference, that has impact. Just making money and hoarding it or spending it, that's a waste of our talent. That's not the goal of life. Huh? What is your mission? That's a very good question. We should ask ourselves that question. That's why Parikshit asked Shukadeva Goswami, what is the duty of a man who's about to die? What is the duty for humanity at large? He asked them very relevant questions. So these questions and answers are there in Prabhupada's books. Okay, we got 4 minutes. Any closing arguments? Yes.
The message of the Bhagavad Gita, there are several messages, and you meet one person and you don't know if you will meet them again. So what is the best message you can give such a person? But what is this book? And what is the message of this book?
The best message is what Krishna says in the 2nd chapter of the Gita. He says, The soul is asombrosa. You know, asombrosa? Huh? Amazing! So the best message is, you're amazing. Did you know that you're amazing? Krishna says in the same verse, he says 3 times, the soul is amazing. If you can communicate that, and the whole philosophy, you're eternal, you're blissful, you're wise, just by giving people positive attention, they will get the whole idea, just by that. You see, you have to preach, and sometimes you also have to speak. But mostly it's about the nonverbal stuff. I was taking a speedboat over in Guyana, and just behind me, there was a big mama with her baby, and the baby was going, water, 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 water. And I'm like, first the mind was saying, you know, is there a switch off? You know, is there a knob where we can turn this off? And then I realized, don't be an idiot, you know, this is a baby, he wants water. So I asked the lady, ma'am, do you have water? And she said no. So I took my bottle and I gave it to her, and she gave it to the kid, and the kid was happy, the kid was quiet. And the whole boat was watching. And I didn't do it, you know, for that, but I realized afterwards that sometimes the way we act, the way we carry ourselves, does more preaching than the big talk on the asana and, you know, giving people stacks of books and getting stacks of money. That leaves an impression, you know. This guy did the right thing and he gave something without any expectation. Why? Because that's what a human does. Not even a spiritual person. That's what a human does. You know, you chant Hare Krishna for 20 years and then you become human. And if you keep on chanting, you can even become a Vaishnava. That was a joke, you know. Like some say there is. Anyway. So, time is short. People are moving. And to make an impression, it requires that we're connected with Krishna. And that means good sadhana. And then Krishna will give you the right words. Whatever they need to hear. Just be happy that you meet them, you know, like people are just going through the mechanical process and they're leading dull lives. They're just struggling in the material world. Amala dala dala, jivana dala mala. It's a drop of water on a lotus leaf. You can drop off, you can run off anytime. And their life is so precarious and they're so distraught that they're all looking down the street. When will Mita and Gaur come dancing? When will the devotees come and give me fudge? When will I get something that's giving me some taste? I've tried everything. So we have this greatest gift, yet even though we have so much opportunity, we're struggling. We're struggling with the team building. Because we've become so individualistic that we have lost the sense of unity. We have lost the sense of community. And we think it's every man for himself and everyone against the rest of the galaxy. But it's not a fight that you can win. Yeah? Everyone wants to be the boss now. Who likes control? Yeah! Let's hear it for control. Huh? The women want to be in control, the man wants to be in control, the dog wants to control, the kids wants to control. Everyone's trying to pull the blanket to their side. And at the end you have nothing. You don't have friendship, you don't have family, you don't have community. It's just dog eat dog. Welcome to New York. Pleasure doing business with you. It's not a good life. But here in Surinam we can see people are still having a sense of sanity, so they will appreciate when we are giving them the real thing and we are backing it up with our actions. Thank you for your kind attention. We're over time and to be continued. We're here for a couple more days, so make a plan. Make a plan. Get your friends together and say, okay, we'll do this outing. We'll do once a week, we'll do a couple of times a month, and do something. Because we need to see action. We need to see action. The good thing is, this is a small country. I mean, geographically big, but population-wise smaller. So you can still have a lot of impact. You can still make some noise. But we need a strategy. And that means we have to be on the same page. We have to actually agree on a game plan. Otherwise it will be kind of disjointed and not very effective. So I see a lot of brilliant individuals, a lot of potential, but I don't see the team yet. What does it take to be on the team? We have to be team players. We have to be willing to pass the ball. We have to be willing to rejoice in others' success, that others score, that others are more prominent, they're better than we are. That's what it takes to be a team player. And we have to agree that there is a hierarchy. There's only one boss. Who is that? Who the boss? Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya. It's Radharani's team. That's the only team. That's the Sankirtan team. And if you want to be on the team, we have to be a team player. So that's what we're here to learn. We're learning love through cooperation. I was in Guanajuato, Mexico. Guanajuato, Mexico. On the main town square, and there was a man in a three-piece suit with a nice hat and a cane, a lot of rings and golden pocket watch and nice shoes, and he had a handlebar mustache. You know what a handlebar mustache is? Mustache like this, like Salvador Dali. And before I could say one word, he said, "What are you trying to do?" I didn't know what to say. What do you say when you don't know what to say? Huh? Have you ever been in such a situation? What do you do when you don't know what to do? Count your money? Call mom? Ask Siri? There's no time for that. So what do you do when you don't know what to do? Have you ever been in such situations? Who do you ask? Any idea? You just go, You say, Krishna, I need your help. I need a miracle right now. I'm ready to trade all my bhakti points. You know, if you go to Mangalarti and you chant rounds, you get bhakti points. You can trade all your bhakti points for a miracle. I'm willing to trade all my bhakti points. I need a miracle right now because this gentleman, what I'm going to tell him, he looks like a lawyer or a judge or a government official. Whatever I'm going to say is not going to impress him. Huh? So what do you say when you don't know what to say? You can just say a little prayer to Krishna. And then I told him, I'm trying to develop introspection and humility through selfless service. And he was saying, humility and introspection through selfless service. Humility and introspection through selfless service. He said it twice, and he was twirling his mustache. And he was saying, how much? How much is your book? Give me one of those. So, somehow Krishna inspired me to say something that touched a chord, touched him in the heart. Krishna can do the magic. Krishna has got the inside information. He knows what will impress people. We can't, but Krishna can. He's the inside agent. So the most exciting thing in life is to be a team player on Krishna's, on Radharani's team. That's the most exciting thing to do in life. To be enthusiastic. What does enthusiasm mean? Entheos. To be divinely empowered or divinely possessed by God's grace. Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Tara Pravartan. Only through Krishna's potency can we do anything. So thank you for your kind attention, and to be continued. So, rule number 1, your sadhana must be strong. Number 2, get books. Number 3, the more you show, the more you sell. And number 4, you have to be organized. Then you get more done. And that includes building team, delegation, outsourcing, and choosing your battles, focusing on the essentials, all that. And that's what you learn when you're the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It will include your MBA, your marketing degree, your management degree, all of that. It's all included. You don't have to go somewhere else. It's a one-stop solution. So thank you. Happy Ekadasi. Happy. All glories to Prabhupada. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.